So welcome to the podcast. We have Jim Hocking, who's been on the team for about 2 years. We've earlier having some discussion about what we should call the podcast. Still not sure on that. But what do you think of Big Talk with Smallegan?
That's definitely a contender. Yeah.
Or what was the other one that we... Small Talk?
Small Talk.
Yeah,
Small Talk is cool.
Lots of options there.
Short and sweet.
So, Jim, you've been on the team for about 2 years. Why did you get into real estate?
COVID was kind of the thing that expedited the situation. I was in the music industry for a long time, and I had always kicked around the idea of getting into real estate until I had time off thanks to COVID. So I was scrolling one day on Facebook and saw an ad for a course, and then I kind of kept scrolling, and then immediately saw one of my buddies, Kyle Simmons from Las Vegas, who was a real estate agent, still is, but
yeah.
I reached out to him, talked to him about it, and then a couple days later he connected me with you, and that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah. Well, it's been a great 2 years. On that, how is your network, your nationwide network, your worldwide network, how has that benefited you in the real estate business?
Well, just kind of, in the beginning, I had a lot of support just because, coming from the music industry, I was able to leverage that type of stuff. But I have plenty of referral partners kind of all over the country, some that are overseas. And then just the, like fans and stuff like that of my band, they'll reach out to me sometimes on Instagram and tell me that they're looking for a house. Yeah. So I'll find a real estate agent in their city. And that's how I can get some additional income, just kind of referrals and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been in about 2 years. What did your first year look like?
First year was go. I was probably working 60 to 80 hours a week most of the time. I was completely immersed in it, and it was a lot of phone calls and appointments and mistakes and stuff like that. I was still, I closed several deals in my first few months, but there's still quite a learning curve, and my prospecting has changed a little bit since then, but it's not so much like, making 50 plus calls a day. It's more following up with the people who I've been nurturing relationships with over time. And then every once in a while I'll get someone from Instagram directly, or someone coming to me, like past clients and things like that.
Yeah. So you mentioned Instagram. You've been using that lately to kind of help your business. What are some things that you would say are effective on Instagram that have helped?
Yeah, short form video, like if you can cram a bunch of information into 15 to 90 seconds and post it as a reel, that's going to get a lot more engagement than a photo or an infographic. Don't post infographics on Instagram. They don't work. No one cares to see them, and it's just going to hard limit your account. But
sure.
Yeah, if you can take that infographic and just turn that into you talking about what the infographic is showing, and then write a little bit of a caption, it's going to get a lot of reach, and people are going to respond to that. And if you're posting consistently about real estate, people are going to come to you about real estate.
And yeah, you talking about the infographic is actually going to put you as the expert, not the infographic. Right?
Exactly. Because, a lot of these people, like agents and stuff, they'll just rip an infographic off from a website. And it's, it has other people's logos on it. But most of the people know that they didn't sit there and make that infographic. So if you just turn all of that data into something that you're talking about, then they're going to believe you. They're going to ask you the questions and come to you when they're ready to buy or sell.
Mm-hmm. So, how are you helping your clients win? Tell some stories about that. What's something that sets you apart?
Yeah, the market has shifted a little bit since last year. Last year was super busy. It was go, like show everyone 30 or 40 houses and write 10 to 15 offers. I didn't have a problem doing that. Now I've scaled back on the amount of appointments I'm doing, but I've done more business this year so far, and I'm on track to almost double my business this year just by doing a few things. So one big thing I do is a buyer's consultation for, when I've got a buyer. If they're repeat buyers or first-time home buyer, I still want to sit down with them for 1 to 2 hours and discuss the market. all of the documents, the contract verbiage people are using right now, and just go over everything so they are really, really ready to go. And, 2 hours before a transaction is going to save you days or weeks or months or however long, because the more educated the buyer, the more, or the easier the experience is for them.
Yeah. So you're saying you're preparing your clients. Are you talking about the market shift?
Yeah, definitely. So, last year especially, it was, tons of, there'd be a ton of offers on the table, and the people who were escalating the highest and offering the biggest appraisal gaps, or maybe it was a cash offer or waiving inspections or whatever, a lot of those offers were winning. And now that's the case in certain neighborhoods and certain homes. Like if it's super turnkey, or if it's just the neighborhood that everybody wants to be in, and maybe it's slow turnover. Like, I would consider the northwest side of Grand Rapids pretty competitive. People want to be there, and not a lot of homes go up on the market over there in comparison to other neighborhoods. So those slower turnover neighborhoods, as soon as one goes up, everyone jumps on it. So you're still going to see some competition. Like there was an offer that I wrote today. There were already 8+ offers on the table when I called him earlier this morning. And so I would anticipate, that's going to happen in some areas. But if you are... if you're not a competitive buyer, I would say listen to your agent for one, but two, go after properties that are 7 days plus on the market. Maybe they came back to market during inspections, or just look for those opportunities, because you can get something at asking price or under asking price, or have the seller pay your closing costs or buy your rate down. If you're, 3 or 400 plus thousand, maybe a new construction would work, because builders are trying to offload inventory right now, and they're going to pay all of your closing costs and buy your rate down just to get you into it. So there's a lot of opportunity. Don't be too stuck in your ways, and be open to maybe some things that you weren't thinking of initially.
What would you say is your superpower? Like, what sets you apart from maybe other real estate agents?
I guess, preparing my buyers and sellers for all the outcomes that, could be possible, and just being communicative. I also work really, really well under pressure. I might work better under pressure than in like a relaxed state. If there's pressure on me, I can get a lot of things done. For example, like last summer, when Monday morning would roll around and I'd have to write like 8 offers for every one of my buyers. I could crank those out quick. Now I can write a purchase agreement in 5 minutes now. Like it's, so working well under pressure and dealing with that stress and stuff is something I'm really, really good at.
So, working with a lot of different buyers, how do you stay in touch with all of them?
Well, our CRM, and if you're not a real estate agent, CRM is client resource. Wait, client. What is it?
I think that's a mystery of real estate.
Yeah, client relationship manager. Yeah. So our system, it's it's awesome. Like it has all of the people divided up by when they're buying and their price point, name, email, phone number, all that stuff. And it has all of our conversations in there. And I'll know when I need to reach out to someone based on how they are set up in the system. And I can change that. If someone says, hey, we're going to wait a few months. Okay. Flip them over to, 3 months out.
Yeah.
And someone might be a year out and they'll tell me that they're ready next week. So we'll start looking. But and then I try to fill up my schedule once the new inventory starts going out. So, maybe a Wednesday, which is when inventory, like the early bird listings start to hit the market out here. And then Thursday, you get a lot of them. But Wednesday, I start to try and fill up my showing schedule for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I've got just a block of appointments throughout the weekend. And then I can write offers in the early week, and then midweek I can, chill out a little bit more, although I don't really do that.
Something we kind of have in common. We both work a lot. So.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. And it doesn't, it's so when you enjoy what you're doing, it doesn't necessarily feel like work. And then, I still cut out plenty of time for my kids and family and stuff. I wouldn't say I'm a workaholic, but I'd rather work a lot right now than have to work into my 70s.
It makes a lot of sense. So you mentioned your family. Tell me about your family.
I've got 2 kids, both daughters. One is 7 and one's going to be 2 on my birthday. We share a birthday. She was
awesome.
Yeah, she was born. She was supposed to be born on Thanksgiving, and she was born on the holier day, my birthday.
What are some things outside of real estate that you like to do?
I play music. I would go to the gym. Oh wow! I play video games. I'm a video game nerd for sure. Like, I've been teased quite a bit by those close to me by the types of video games I play. I play RPGs. I like, just super nerdy, like wizard stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, yep. Swords and shields. Like Skyrim and Cyberpunk and.
My wife teased me about that too. I tell her if a dragon ever attacks her or a zombie ever attacks her, don't come to me.
I would know what to do in both of those situations.
She's teased me enough about it.
She's you're not going to help her out. Yeah. I don't blame you there. I mean,
she's got to figure out how to fight those zombies and dragons on her own.
Yeah, because if she's abusing you like that, then you can't help her out.
Okay. So what are some things that you could maybe talk about that new agents can do, or somebody just getting into business? What are some things they should think about or do to help them get started faster?
So if you are just getting into the business, I would say try and find a team in your area who does a lot of transactions. I joined this team. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not a good logistics guy, so handling all the extra stuff would be a lot for me. So get into the business, get on a team, focus on the people, the transactions, learning all of that. Get really good on the phone, get really good at appointments, and maybe get a coach if they don't provide one, accountability, whatever it is. But yeah, stay on top of that stuff and don't stop calling until you have a full pipeline of business.
So you said extra stuff. So maybe somebody wouldn't know what extra stuff means. What are some of the things that you feel like are good that they're taking off your plate?
Yeah, I mean, so transaction coordinating, like anything from contract to close. So the purchase agreement and everything is fully signed. We have a transaction coordinator, and she communicates with the title company, the listing agent, and it's funny too, because I say that and then I like totally blank out because I don't know that process because that's what she does.
I don't either.
Yeah. And then, but she does all of that. So I can focus on the next person, the next transaction, negotiating deals and, showing properties or doing listing appointments, things like that. Marketing, I do my own marketing on Instagram, but the team is still doing marketing and lead generation. Just otherwise you're kind of on your own. And I would rather get really good at what I'm really good at, and instead of have to try and do 5 or 6 different jobs.
Yeah, it's amazing how much more you can get done when you focus on things that you like to do.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not a logistics guy. If I were to ever. I can't even think about starting a team or anything like that because I wouldn't want to deal with the bills or just all the stuff on the back end, setting up the systems. I would rather have the systems in place so I can come in and do the business that I want to do instead of build all of it myself. I don't know. It's, coming from the music industry, I was in a team environment, but the systems were already in place. I was just a communicator. I was working with the agents and the managers and then communicating with my band and stuff like that. But all of the stuff was already built and ready to go. I didn't have to go do any of it. And, we paid a manager to get us onto tours. We paid then an agent to book the tours. We paid other people to do things because we weren't able to do it ourselves. I mean, we technically could have, and we did early on, but that's when you get to a certain point, you just have to pass it off to someone else and do what you're good at.
Maybe focuses on it could be better.
Focus on this so we can write the music and release the albums, which, the label was releasing the album. So when we were just writing the music and showing up to the shows and getting on the planes that we were supposed to be on.
Yeah. So speaking of getting on a plane, we're actually going to be getting on a plane very soon and going to the Tom Ferry Summit. What are some things that you hope to get from that?
It'll be my second real estate convention. Like we did the family reunion, Keller Williams, earlier this year. Yep. And I mean, I don't really know what to expect. Like, I've watched some of his snippets from other conventions that Tom Ferry's done, and he and I recently connected on Instagram. So I'm gonna bother him a little bit when we get down to Dallas and see if we can meet up for a drink. But other than that, I mean, I'm just hoping to, I don't know, maybe motivation or inspiration or something. Maybe have an aha moment that will help me break through to the next level and keep going. But yeah.
Yeah. So I know there's going to be a big focus on social media. So what are some other things that you learned at maybe the family reunion convention? What are the takeaways from that?
Family reunion, I feel like, was starting to kind of touch on we were starting to talk about the market about to shift. I mean, when the Fed announced that they were raising rates, I kind of anticipated 4 to 6 months before a real slowdown happened, and I was just about right on with that. So yeah, I mean, maybe for this, like, I mean, if they're talking about social media, I'm going to be like all in on that, because I'm, doing reels and posts, not as much as I should be. If I'm watching Tom Ferry or Jason Pantana talk about social media, they'd probably be disappointed with how often I'm posting. But I just need to pick it up and get more consistent. I need a bank of content that I can drop, because filming every day sucks.
Yeah.
And yeah, just because you can't be in that good headspace every single time you try. So if you're in a good headspace to film, do as much as you possibly can.
That's one of the things I hope to be able to take off of agents' plates, is filming every day, and that's really why we hired Jeremy to help us with content.
Yeah, I mean, he sent me a couple so far just from another podcast I did, and that's great. I want to get some more of the informational stuff that I was doing when I first started. And I mean, you're never gonna see me do a TikTok dance. That's just not gonna happen. It's not my brand. But there will be more varied content. I did a lot of property walkthroughs too. Some of them pop off, some of them don't. But I really like walking through houses and getting video. So there's gonna be just kind of an amalgamation of all sorts of different video content on there.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me the coolest thing you've seen in a house that you've walked through.
Let me see. So
anything you can remember.
Yeah, I mean, I've walked through. You go through like multi-million-dollar properties, and the listing agents typically want like a proof of funds or a pre-approval before you go. So I would call around to agents who are willing to let me through. And I got a couple really cool walkthroughs of some higher end properties in the area, and yeah, those are always fun. And I mean, there was one that I went through a few weeks ago. I'm watching it right now. It was a super beautiful mid-century modern home that was completely renovated inside. It was amazing. And it was less than $600,000, which, I mean, sounds like a lot of money, but it would have been $4 million in LA or something like that. Yeah, I mean, got a bunch on here. I don't know. Whenever I see a really, really cool house, I just pull my phone out and I'll just walk through it real quick. So I try to show up to houses, 10 or 15 minutes early if I can, like if my schedule allows, and shoot. And then if the listing agent's fine with me posting it, then I'll post it.
Yeah, it's important to always ask.
Yeah, for sure. There was a few times that I didn't, and I never got in trouble for it. But then I figured I'd probably want to know if someone was doing that with my listing, or maybe the sellers would know. And maybe the sellers would see it and then be upset about it. So, yeah, I started asking.
What do you say is the biggest learning curve? Like, what was the hardest thing for you to figure out getting started in real estate?
Knowing what to say on the phone is like the first thing that jumps out, because when you get your license, you know how to like not get in trouble with the law, but you don't know anything about the business. You don't know anything really about homes or transactions, so you don't have a whole lot to talk about. And I was in a coaching program, which was super helpful at the time, but yeah, I probably could have shortened that learning curve a little bit if we had a Skylar on the team who is really, really good with scripting and stuff like that. Because I mean, I still get hung up on certain things sometimes, or maybe I'm not warmed up yet, and I'll like have a phone dive. But yeah, talking on the phone, I mean, and it's really, really, I complicate it more than I should, but I would say early on having just a ton of heavy focus on being on the phone and how to navigate questions and statements and things like that would have shortened my learning curve a lot, probably got me a lot more business. Or if I had just been like not afraid to talk on the phone, I guess those go hand in hand. Like if I had had the, if I knew what to say and I was confident about it, I would have made more phone calls and I would have made more money. So I'm trying to make more phone calls and stay more consistent. Yeah, it's a cycle that feeds itself. So yeah, phone calls are where it all starts.
Any tips you can give a new agent just getting started?
Yeah, make your phone calls, practice in the car. I don't even listen to music in the car, which is weird because I'm a musician, but I will go through scenarios and just kind of practice the gift of gab and just talking to people, like especially if it's a new buyer that I'm meeting or somebody. Yeah. I'll just like talk like they're right in front of me. So by the time I see them, I'm super warmed up and I'm ready to go. Like, yeah, stuff like that. It's really, I mean, it's a social profession, so just staying on top of that is important. Another thing I would say is stay really, really on top of what's happening, not just in the local market, but national. Have figures in your head, like just every number that has to do with real estate, like the average mortgage note is held for 2.5 years. Just stupid little things like that. You're going to be surprised at how often you drop it and how often those buyers or sellers are going to, I mean, maybe impressed is too much, but like they're just going to appreciate that you know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like I got a message from a lady I met at an open house, and she lives in East Grand Rapids in a beautiful, like nice home. It's and she's probably had her fair share of real estate transactions in her life, but she messaged me specifically to tell me that she was impressed with my knowledge and was going to recommend me to some of her family and friends and things like that, which is good. It's good to hear, but if you really, really know what's going on in the area, that's great. And if you know what's going on in general, like it's going to put you way, way above. I would also say don't try and sell people homes. Because one, commission breath is a thing, but if you are really, really representing someone's best interest and there's a home that, maybe doesn't check all the boxes, or maybe it's, maybe there's some glaring issues that are showing up. If you tell someone like, I don't think you should write an offer on this house, there's going to be more homes for you to show them. You're going to get a sale eventually, but don't try and jam them into the first place that they see, because once they see that you're not just trying to jam them into a house, they're going to, one, they're going to trust you, and two, they're going to tell everybody that that's how you roll.
Asking questions, putting your client's needs first. That's the name of the game for sure.
Yeah, I've told people to not write offers 100 times, and would I have made a little bit more money in the short term if I didn't do that? Probably. Will I make more money in the long term because I was being a fiduciary? Absolutely.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, I would like to stay. I'm going to be in Grand Rapids for sure. I really, really like West Michigan. I think the city is growing. A lot of industries are moving in. The plans for what's going to happen downtown with like the amphitheater and stuff, and just all the, Grand Rapids is going to rival Detroit in 20 years. I think it'll be a nicer version of Detroit for sure. But yeah, it's the place to be. It's where Denver was 10 years ago. So yeah, I'm going to be here. I want to stay in real estate, and I want to build an investment portfolio and things like that. But that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. I'm almost 2 years in, which is insane. But that 2 years flew, and I would imagine 5 years from now that it's just going to sneak right up on me.
It'll happen quicker than you know. Yeah, you're definitely ahead of the game as far as your transactions and your experience.
Yeah, I'll be 25 in 5 years.
It's hard to laugh.
Yeah, I know. I'll be 40 in 5 years. Oof. I'm halfway to.
It's not that bad.
I'm halfway to 70 right now, though. That scares me. Halfway to 70. Like when you break it up like that, it feels different. Like, how old are you, Jeremy? 24. He's not even halfway to 50.
You're as old as you feel.
I know. I feel 23.
There you go. They're 23 then. We'll go with that.
And yeah, Did you think I was 35 when you met me? He had no idea.
Well, Jeremy's almost too nice sometimes.
Yeah.
So, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or if you're thinking about just getting into real estate as an agent, how could someone get in touch with you?
You can follow me at Jim Hocking, Hocking, on Instagram. Message me there, or I've got a contact card on there. It's the Popple link on my Instagram. That'll have my phone number, email address, and everything else that you need. But yeah.
Tell me about that Popple.
Popple's little, it's like one of those little cards. It works on QR code or just like tapping the back of the phone, and it pulls up a link and everything. And it exchanges the information from the person that you scanned it with. So it'll drop their information in your phone, and then it'll give them all of your information. You can include links and videos and all sorts of stuff. I haven't used it to like its max potential yet, but
Sure.
The link on it itself people have added their contacts into mine just from that link, and then I use it at open houses and stuff. And when I'm meeting people, they're like, "Oh, do you have any cards?" I'm like, "Well, you can take one, but it'll end up in the trash. So let me just tap the back of your phone with this really quick." They always think it's cool. I don't know how maybe people have stayed in touch with me because of it. I don't really know, but yeah, I like it better than business cards because most people throw business cards away. I collect business cards all the time, and I never ever use them.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with me and get to know you a little bit more. And that's it.
Sweet.